everyone, and welcome back to Audrey Pathfinder. Today we're on location with Hilary, a physiotherapist, business owner, and former homeschooler. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today. I'm excited to learn more about your homeschooling journey, your career in healthcare, and what it's like to own and run your own physiotherapy practice.
I'm excited to talk to you about all of these steps too. Let's get started.
Question 1. What was your homeschooling experience like?
So I am one of 5 sisters. I'm the second of 5 sisters. I have 1 older sister and 3 younger sisters. So we were all homeschooled together. I started going to school when I was 10 in grade 5, but I was homeschooled from JK until grade 5. My mom was the primary teacher, but her and my dad alternated who went to work. So some days I would be home with my dad and my sisters, and some days I would be home with my mom and my sisters. My mom would always do lessons with us, so like math, phonics, science, etc. And my dad would do all of the like outdoor education, sports, that kind of thing. So if my dad was home with us, usually my mom would leave us homework to finish. She would write a list. It would say, H, this is your homework. Or the rest of my sisters, she would leave them homework. But if she was home, usually through the day, we'd each have an hour one-on-one with her, and she would teach us a lesson. So it might be math that day, or it might be English that day. So there was a lot of independent learning. I did a lot of reading and studying on my own time. But probably similar to your experience, I moved through things very quickly. So it felt like I was kind of way ahead of the education curve when I started school in grade 5. We spent a lot of time outside. That was wonderful. We did a lot of tobogganing, cross-country skiing. My dad would take us hiking, camping. We did a lot of biking. And I did grow up in a community called Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. There were probably about 4 or 5 other families that were homeschooling at the time. So we did swimming and gymnastics, and then things like jump rope for heart or hoops for heart. We would do those with the other homeschooling families.
Question 2. How did homeschooling help shape your career path?
Good question. So I mentioned in my last answer that I had a lot of independent learning. I think that really helped me all through elementary, high school, and university. I went to university for 7 years. And once you get to university, it's a lot of learning on your own. You go to a class, but it's your responsibility to do your work and do all of your studying. And I think being homeschooled, where I didn't always have direct supervision, was very helpful with that. And then the second comment I'll make is that my mom had to follow a curriculum that was set out by the Ministry of Education, but she also did some things in our learning that she wanted us to learn that weren't necessarily part of the schooling, the school curriculum. So one of those was Latin. I learned Latin roots like prefixes and suffixes and the words in between that were in Latin. And in science, especially in anatomy, a lot of words are in Latin. So in the world of physiotherapy, a lot of the words we use are Latin-based. And I found it really easy to study and memorize those things because I knew what it meant. And I would say most people don't know how to speak Latin, right? So for example, the word brachium means arm. So then when we look at terms in the physio realm like brachial plexus, I know that it refers to arm because it has the word brachium in it. Make sense? So when I first started studying anatomy in university, I think a lot of my peers found it really challenging to try and memorize a lot of things. And I looked at a word and thought, they must mean this. So I thought that was really useful too.
Question 3. What is physiotherapy?
Physiotherapy is a healthcare practice in which healthcare professionals help people who have either had an injury or maybe want to prevent an injury, or maybe they've had a surgery, and we help them to relearn to move without pain, to function properly. For example, say someone's had their hip replaced. We help them to relearn to walk. We help them to relearn to go to the bathroom, go down the stairs, that sort of thing. On the other end of the spectrum, say someone is a high-level athlete and they've injured their knee. We also help them to be able to get strong and run fast and kick a ball hard again. And we help everybody else in between too. They don't have to have a very major injury for us to help them too. We help them not to have pain, and we help them to move better. And we do a lot of that with exercise. That's why I showed you our gym. So we teach people how to get stronger, how to move more comfortably, how to stretch, how to use exercise to help them get out of pain.
Question 4. What inspired you to pursue this career in physiotherapy?
Good question. I played a lot of sports growing up. I was a cross-country skier. I played baseball. I played badminton. I never had any major injuries, knock on wood, but I went to physio as a teenager for some trouble with one of my feet. And this was when I was running a lot. And I was really interested in the career. I liked the idea that I wasn't going to sit behind a desk. And I liked the idea that people can use exercise as an alternative to medication, if that makes sense. And I also think the other part of that answer is the human body has always just been really fascinating to me. I think it's amazing that, for example, you can get a really bad scrape on your arm and it heals. Isn't that cool?
Question 5. What does a typical day look like for you as a physiotherapist and business owner?
So good question. I do 2 main things largely. So when I'm working as a physio, I treat patients, I write notes on them, I rebook their appointments, I write their exercise plans. So when I treat patients, it might be, say, like a bit of massage work, it's lots of exercise prescription. I do acupuncture and tri-needling as well. I try, now that we've been in existence for the last 4.5 years, I try to make sure that my day of management duties is not the day that I'm being a physio. So on Mondays, I take a meeting with my business partner. I maybe meet with our team. I meet with our small business advisor. I make sure we have all the inventory we need, like cleaning products, massage lotion, sheets, that kind of thing. I am in charge of our marketing and our community outreach. So if anything needs to be changed on our website, I do that. I run our social media page. And then if we are advertising anything like a new service or a new practitioner, I do all of the communication around that. So I try and do those on different days because I find it quite challenging to go from treating a patient to maybe like hiring a new person. It's challenging to jump between. I would say also as a business owner, there's always something to be done, whether that is a day that I'm treating or not. You know, if my front desk calls in sick, I answer the phone. If somebody needs help with a difficult patient, I step in and have a conversation with them. So it depends on the day.
Question 6. What are some of your favorite parts of the job?
Oh, good question. I love being a part of helping somebody to get better. I love when I've worked with someone, say, for like 3 months, and they tell me, I'm so happy I can, pick my baby daughter up again, or I can run again, or I can ride my bike again. I love to see the progress as they come every week and to know that I have helped them get better.
Question 7. What are some of the biggest challenges of the profession?
Good question. I think financial can be one. Physio services can be covered by OHIP. That's our universal healthcare system. So if you have a prescription from your doctor to see a physiotherapist at the hospital, they can be covered by the medical system. But I would say most people that come here, either they have their own private insurance or they pay out of pocket to come for an appointment. So sometimes money can be a bit of an issue because our services are pretty expensive. And that feels challenging as a business owner because, of course, we need to make money, but also I want to be able to help people. So sometimes it's hard to play both sides of that coin.
Question 8. What skills help someone succeed as a physiotherapist?
So I think the most important thing about physiotherapy is you need to be a good communicator. You need to make sure that your patients trust you and that they like you and that you are doing a good job of educating them about, what exercises they need to do. When do they need to come back and see you again? What should they be avoiding doing at home? But I think some of that comes along with making sure that they trust you. In the physio world, we talk about developing patient rapport, which is a fancy word for can you have a nice conversation with someone and they enjoy it. So I think that's the most important part about being any healthcare worker, but physiotherapist in general.
Question 9. What motivated you to open your own practice?
Good question. I think I've always known I wanted to own my own business even before I became a physio. And I will say probably some of that ties back to my homeschooling days. I was taught from a very young age to be independent, to help myself to learn, to help myself achieve the things that I wanted to achieve. So I think I wouldn't have ever really felt that fulfilled if I was doing this for someone else's business long term. So before I even got into physio school, I was studying kinesiology at U of T, and I knew that I wanted to own my own business, whether that was going to be maybe something in the fitness industry or something in the healthcare industry.
This is the last question.
Perfect.
Question 10. What advice would you give to kids like myself who may be considering a career in healthcare or entrepreneurship?
Good question. So in a few years, you might be a little bit young for this, but I always tell people who are interested in this field that they should volunteer in the adjacent careers. I think it's easy to sit at home and say, this is what I want to be, but until you actually try it out, you need to know that you like it. For example, in order to become a physiotherapist, you need a master's degree in Canada. So I went to school for 4 years for my undergrad, and then I did an extra year, so I went to 5. And then I did 2 years of my master's. And it would really suck to spend 7 years in school and then realize you didn't really like the job, right? So I think it's important, when you get to high school, to find some time to volunteer, maybe in a physio clinic or at a hospital or in a rehab facility, so that you get exposed to what does this job actually look like before you decide that this is what you want to do. And I think that's true in any job too. If say you want to work with pets, I think it's valuable to figure out what does that actually look like, instead of do I just think that I like this career. And on your question about entrepreneurship, my advice is that if you know this is something you want to do, trust your gut and give it your all, and no one will be your biggest fan except for yourself. If you know that that's the way you want to go, then I totally support that, especially as another woman, and don't let anyone tell you that you can't do it.
Now it's time for the official Pathfinder career rating. Here's how I rate the career of physiotherapist and business owner across 3 categories. Preparation level. How much training, learning, and practice you need for this career. So I would say a 5 out of 5 gold star rating. Because, like she said, it takes 7 years. 7. Impact rating. How much this career helps people improve lives and make a difference. A 5 out of 5 gold star rating. Because, well, she did say it helps, help you run and bike again and walk. The Audrey fit. How much I would personally enjoy this career.
No, I'm not offended if you say 1 out of 5. What parts do you think you would like?
I would like to see the parts that people come back and they say, it helped, and you helped them.
You would part? I'll tell you the part you wouldn't like, because I don't like it either.
What?
I have to write a note about every single person I see every time they come in, and it's very time consuming.
Okay. I gave it a 4.9 gold star rating. Because there's also the boring part, but also there's the fun parts.
There are lots of fun parts.
That wraps up today's episode of Audrey Pathfinder. A huge thank you to Hilary for sharing her experience and teaching us more about physiotherapy, healthcare, entrepreneurship, and how homeschooling helped shape her journey. A quick shout out to my sister's podcast, Olivia's Book Nook, where she shares book reviews and recommendations. Go check it out. And thank you to all the kids and families listening. Keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep building your own path. See you next time.